In today's expedition, we travel to Dashur. In part 1, we traveled the desert sands on a 360 tour around the perimeter of the Red Pyramid. We examined the Eastern Temple, the in-situ limestone casing, and the red coating compound that's applied to the exterior of the pyramid. In part 2, we travel inside of the Red Pyramid and explore all 3 corbelled vaulted chambers within. Let's go! If you want to support our expeditions and research, pick up some Ancient Odysseys merch. I have a new collection that features my photography from our adventures. This is a photo I took of the Sistrum columns within the Hathor Temple in Dendera on our 2024 Upper Egypt expedition. New Explorer packs are now available. Thank you all very much for your support.
I'm Lex Levy, and this is Ancient Odysseys. Today we're back in Dashur, and I'm standing in front of the Red Pyramid attributed to Sneferu. We're going to do some research inside, so come with me. Let's go. I'm here with my husband, Jeffrey Drum, from the Land of Chem. He's having a stogie. It's great to be back.
And I'm very excited to be back here today. Some new equipment.
Now we're going to climb to the top and then make the descent.
Yalabina.
Yalabina.
I actually don't think that's casing stone. It's, unless there was a depression, because look at how far we are away from the outside.
Yes, we're several courses in.
All right. Yalabina.
Yalabina.
All right, and there's another interesting feature about the Red Pyramid.
The following schematics I'm about to show you are from Keith Hamilton's Layman's Guide on the Red Pyramid. This layout of the Red Pyramid substructure is how Pairing and MNR see the pyramid, with the second chamber aligned with the apex, directly in the center, and chambers 1 and 2 on level with the pyramid's base. This layout is based on Dorner's reconstruction, where he suggests that the lower chamber's floor was 3.15 meters above the base of the pyramid. We enter the pyramid on the northern side and travel down the descending passage. It is here that we are met with the first horizontal passage, and there is a pit that is covered with floorboards. We enter into the first vaulted chamber, running north to south. Then a second horizontal passage, and then a second vaulted chamber, also running north to south. Then we ascend via a stairwell into the third horizontal passage and to the final chamber that runs east to west. This is a 3D reconstruction of the Red Pyramid substructure that will help you visualize what we are about to explore.
Okay, we're going to make our way down the descending passage. Follow me. Yellow Bina. All right, let's go.
Of course, it's not really doing anything because it's coming apart in multiple places, but the intention of that air pipe is to try to bring air into the final chamber, trying to get rid of the smell. And you can see here
right away you can see the stain on the ceiling. Look at how red. Now this is all limestone. Look at the color change. Take a look at how red it's staining, especially on the upper portion of this passage. Wow. Now the locals know this pyramid as the Bat Pyramid. That's because of the stench. It reeks of ammonia. It's chemical, pure chemical ammonia smell. Jeffrey's all the way down at the termination of this descending passage. Look at how stained, corroded this is. There's been some patchwork here. Sure, it's a lot easier to climb in comparison to the bent pyramid.
You can already smell the ammonia. Babe, how many times would you say you've been in the Red Pyramid?
Too many.
Alright, at the termination of the descending passage, there is a pit. It's now covered with wooden floorboard. Massive fracture here. All right, at the termination of this descending passage is a pit. Look at this. And this is where the pit is. This is a schematic of the pit that's found at the conjunction of the descending passage and the first horizontal passage done by M&R. The conventional theory is that this pit is a robber's tunnel. However, take a closer look at the geometry. It appears that this angle of the masonry was intended and an original part of the configuration. Okay, we're going to make our way into the first chamber. There's a series of 3. We're in the horizontal passage now. Take a look at the vaulted ceiling and the strange drip patterns. There's a clear delineation here of the staining. There's not a single bat in here. Look at the stress fracture. These have been put in place to measure any changes and monitor the fracture.
second chamber. Another stress fracture. All right, we're in the first chamber of the Red Pyramid.
So now we're talking chemistry 101. The increase of temperature and pressure by manipulating volume to facilitate these chemical reactions. But these are not the only mechanisms of operation designed to drive this reaction. Now we need to go down to the involving oriented external.
You can see there's this peculiar nub. And to the right, a square that looks like a patchwork. Now the entire substructure is made out of limestone. And if you look at the apex, you can see there's a steam. The staining is most heavy on the side, on the south wall. There's some interesting patterns from the horizontal passage and then around the floor. This corner has attached. There's some major fracturing going on here as well. All right, let's make our way through this horizontal passage into the secondary chamber, and we'll observe this immense stress fracture that runs along the entirety of the horizontal passage. And you can see by these markers that they're closely monitoring this fracture. All right, we're in the secondary chamber. It's also vaulted. There's a curious hole here with drip stain and some graffiti. Now I have a UV light. Let's analyze this. We're going to do a UV analysis of this drip staining here. We're going to look for any fluorescence of trace metals. You can see a slight glow. We're going to do a UV analysis. Looking for any fluorescence from trace metals. And Jeffrey has presented the chemical analysis that our colleagues at the Osireion project have carried out.
The highest concentration of lead is in the, you can see there's all sort of fluorescence, especially here, the green color.
Oh yeah.
And even in this stream. Turn off the flashlight. But the highest concentration of lead from the chemical analysis is in the holes in the upper vault, which we'll get to here in just a minute. But there's definitely some fluorescence in this.
Pretty cool. All right. Let's proceed into the third chamber. All right. We will now look at the northern wall of the second chamber of the Red Pyramid.
To the water and the pressure differential between chamber 1 and chamber 2 as the water flows through the connecting passage. It will draw these gases through the connecting shaft into the secondary reaction chamber.
You can see how heavy the staining is on the upper courses. Still not a single bag. All right, we're in the secondary chamber of the Red Pyramid. Take a look. It looks like there is an air exchange tube here. It's quite stinky.
Alright, let's go into the third and final chamber. We have to climb up first. Looks like there's a fine layer of mortar. Alright, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 holes or housings. Take a look. And they are bilateral, so they're directly across from each other. And there's goo or staining dripping from them. It appears they've been chiseled out. And looking at the apex, you can again see a seam, which is peculiar masonry. It certainly looks like an alien cathedral in here. All right. There are 3 more holes here. And this one, which is similar to what we've seen in the bed pyramid. This one exits in the horizontal passage. You can see the light shining through. All right, we're in the horizontal passage that leads to the final chamber, the third chamber. And there's a seam that runs. This does not appear to be a fracture, but an actual seam in the masonry that runs along the horizontal passage. roof looks like it's been mortared. We are now in the third and final vaulted chamber. The smell is certainly more intense, and there is not a single bat in here. Now the floor of the final chamber has been excavated. There's this massive pit, and then a beginning of a shaft to the north. But it's a dead end. There's this outlier here, this single block that has a darker color than the rest. And again, you have a seam at the apex of the wall. Alright, we're now looking at the eastern wall of the final chamber. Why was there such an effort to extract all the stone from the pavement? All right, this concludes our expedition into the Red Pyramid, and now we will perform our primary objectives for the day. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more epic adventures from Ancient Odysseys. Never stop exploring. If you want to learn more about other pyramids in Dashur, check out my episode 41, The Bent Pyramid. If you want to support our expeditions and research, pick up some Ancient Odysseys merch. I have a new collection that features my photography from our adventures. This is a photo I took of the Sistrum columns within the Hathor Temple in Dendera on our 2024 Upper Egypt expedition. New Explorer packs are now available. Thank you all very much for your support.